Shut up and sit down.
What's going on, guys? This is the MMA Complex. My name is Josh.
And I'm James.
And we are back. It's July 14th?
July 14th, yeah.
Yeah. 5:30 p.m. in the evening.
Yeah.
And we're back with a brand new episode, man. Everything good with you?
Yeah, it was a slow week. It's halfway done. July's halfway done, dude.
I know. It's crazy.
Do you think that after August, fall will be here, which is crazy. Then we got to do Halloween and Thanksgiving and Christmas. It's crazy.
Dude, the holidays are going to be so different this year.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, who's really going to go trick-or-treating on Halloween? Who's
no
going to
one.
send their kids
Well,
out for
I didn't
COVID?
even think about that.
Yeah. Halloween's done.
Halloween's done. And then Santa's taking a vacation.
Oh, yeah? Where does she get planned?
No, Santa Claus.
Oh, I thought you said Sandra, because Sandra,
yeah.
your girlfriend's name is Sandra.
Yeah.
So
No, Santa Claus, yeah. He's taking hiatus.
You can do Thanksgiving's a little tricky. You're probably going to have to do just immediate family and probably some small, like a
same
small
with
gathering.
Christmas, right?
Gathering, same thing. You can still do it.
Yeah.
Halloween's the only one that's going to be probably
difficult.
Yeah, that one's going to be pretty hard to do.
Yeah. Because here in California, where we're from in LA, we closed this past Tuesday.
Yeah, we closed the bars,
The
in-house restaurants are back closed, gyms, hair salons, barbershops, movie theaters, which I don't even think movie theaters are really open.
No, they were planning to be open, yeah.
What else? Just stuff like that, just the normal stuff, like phase one kind of stuff, but not as bad because you can still do outdoor eating and curbside pickup and all that stuff.
Because me and my girlfriend went to one of our favorite breakfast spots.
Mm.
Really outside. I think our table was right on top of the handicap section of a parking lot.
Oh, that's pretty interesting.
Yeah, we're in the parking lot.
I passed by the Norms over on Whittier.
Yeah,
and it's all like outdoor seating with like canopies and
yeah. So they had it, but although like for whatever reason, maybe because we're brown. The canopy wasn't heading in our direction. So I was like, so hot.
Oh, really?
And then the waitress couldn't figure out how to adjust it. She goes, well, if you don't want to do it, you can move it yourself. Well, fuck you, bitch. So that was my...
Yeah.
That's my weekend.
No, what else? But malls are closed, but you can still go shop in stores. I don't think stores are like... I went to go pick up some frames for the house.
Yeah, and retail stores are still open.
Yeah, retail stores are still open.
Old
you can
Navy
still go in.
And those like Ross and Marshalls.
They didn't close. It's just malls.
Also, the malls are closed.
The malls are closed.
Okay.
But retail shops are still open. So
okay. With malls, even when it reopened, it would kind of suck because you have to be waiting in line to get into a store.
Yeah. Every store has a line.
Yeah.
It's like it's annoying. And then you have people going in there and like just shopping and picking up shoes from what
talking.
I heard. Yeah, right? Did you tell me?
So there was a line at Foot Locker, and this guy was on the phone, not even shopping. He was just kind of picking up a shoe and talking on the phone at the same time. Yeah. Where people were outside waiting to get inside, and they're just this
it's like,
jackass.
Know what you're gonna go get, and then go get it.
Yeah, and get out.
Yeah, and get out.
That's what we did.
Don't touch stuff, and then put it back.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
What Foot Locker should do is like do some like all these shoe stores should just strap stuff down.
Yeah.
And just strap it down.
Or have someone there telling people you can't touch it.
Don't touch. Or put a little sign up to say do not touch shoes.
And have people there.
Yeah. I think it's simple. Mm-hmm. But stuff is shutting down. Hopefully it'll be back up open soon. Disney World is open up. I think California, the downtown Disney over here is opened up.
Yeah. Florida doesn't give a shit.
Yeah, Florida doesn't give a shit. Disneyland, I think, is still kind of scheduled to open late July, early August.
Money for the rich, right?
No. You're basically they have like a reservation system on their app, which we used anyway with our passes because we have that type of pass. And I don't know if we're gonna go right away. I think we might give it a couple months, but
be safe about it.
Or at least not take the baby. We'll just be us.
That'd be even better. You guys can do more things.
Yeah, we'll do more things. We can. It's less stress on us to make sure what we're touching. We won't touch anything. We take our own food. So
and you guys can experience.
Yeah, they'll have
rides that you can experience with the baby.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting to see how that works. I'm not too afraid to go, but we'll see how it goes. We're not going to take the baby just because it's too complicated. This whole thing.
Now, do you get offended when you see people shopping without a mask?
I think it's ballsy. I don't get offended, but I'm like, come on, don't be that. Am I? I'm like, don't be that, because you're offending somebody, and it's like in a way I get offended.
I kind of do too. I go like, oh,
I'm like,
dick.
you fucking dick. You should wear a mask. Well, come on, dude. Don't fucking be that person.
Yeah.
Unless you want a scene. Is that what you want? You want a scene.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You want someone to come and tell you something. So there's dicks out there.
There is. Like, I like my freedom.
Like, I don't fucking like it. I don't like any of this shit. I want it to be.
I gotta wear one every fucking day at work.
Yeah, I want it to be over. Everybody wants to go live their lives normally again. But
the reality is, it's not gonna happen for a while.
It's not gonna happen for a little while, and it sucks. And
minimum a year.
And it's gonna get worse. I think towards the end of the year, it's gonna be bad. I mean, who's really gonna be shopping? What's retail gonna be like for Christmas? Who's gonna be shopping?
That's what I'm saying. Like, I think Christmas is gonna be different just because of that.
Yeah,
I think Amazon and all those online stores are gonna be popping.
As long as they're still putting out those stimulus checks, which would benefit the economy if they can, still keep that going, because people will just put that back from online shopping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still have my check untouched.
Yeah, I have most of my money is untouched. I do my little side business, but yeah, it's all good. Yeah. So I don't know.
Yeah.
It's gonna be interesting to see how things play out. As far as fights were great this weekend, man.
Yeah.
Fight Island kicked off. Yaz Island, Abu Dhabi.
Before we get into that.
Yeah. Before we get into that,
we have a guest.
We do have to mention our guest for this episode. It's Chelsea Hackett. She is newly signed to the UFC's Contender Series. She'll be on the Season 4 Contender Series. I believe her debut somewhere mid-fall.
October,
she'll talk about it. The video portion of the interview got kind of
lost in cyberspace.
Yeah, and we're trying to recover it. I do apologize to Chelsea on this, but we do have the audio portion of this interview all intact. It's all there. You guys can listen to it. Hopefully, you guys are listening on podcast. We're gonna do some photos, and we're gonna make it at least some entertaining for you guys to watch. But yeah, unfortunately, it
happens.
Technical difficulties. We'll still try to recover. So if you're watching this and the interview plays with actual video footage,
hallelujah,
forget everything we just said.
Yeah.
But if not, there you go. But Chelsea Hackett is on the show. She's great to talk to, very entertaining, just fun. It was a great interview. But at least we salvaged a portion of it.
Yeah.
That's the only thing about Zoom. So we did this interview over Zoom, and we like the Zoom feature because it kind of self-edits in a way. It does a whole back and forth thing, which we really like. It's first interview where James is on camera. Now, you know what I mean?
I finally made it.
He finally made it, but at least his voice is there. And then with Zoom, it's very difficult to go back and retrieve any video, or
that's dumb.
Like Skype, it's all there. It's good there for 30 days. All you have to go back to is your conversation, and it's there. You just re-download it. Zoom, it just they just wipe it clean. And if you have an issue right now, I messaged them. They message you back saying, due to the COVID and the amount of calls that they get and the business that's going on right now, that kind of low level priority stuff they're not doing it. So they're not gonna. If I have an issue, I lost my file, they're not gonna help me because
it's like F you.
Yeah, they're only focusing on big corporate kind of shit.
And we're far from that.
Yeah, we're far from that. So. Yeah, we tried. But
the audio, I mean, it's there. That's
it's there. It's there, and you guys are going to enjoy it and have fun. And you guys follow her on social media. You guys, she's very active on social media. Great person. So you guys have that to look forward to on the episode. Let's get to this past UFC 251. I mean, the card was great. Usman, Masvidal stepping in on short notice. 5-round fight. Went the distance. Let's start with the main card. Oh, actually, did you watch the Ozdemir and Prochazka fight or whatever?
No, I just watched the main card.
Oh, I think it's Yuri Prochazka. The guy's a character.
Yeah.
The way he fights is reckless. I mean, he fights with his hands down, chin forward, goes back and forth, kind of like this weird, capoeira type of thing. I mean, just awkward. Like he should be knocked out. He should be knocked out by the shit he does.
But he doesn't.
But no, he knocked out Ozdemir. He fucking knocked him out cold, man, in the second round, and it was something. The guy's a character. I'm interested to see how he progresses.
Well, he has to like change his style then eventually.
Eventually, you're gonna have to tighten up a little bit.
Yeah.
Amanda Ribas defeating Paige Van Zandt. I mean,
we called it.
Yeah. I knew it. Now Paige was a big underdog. I think she was 6-1 or something like that.
I mean, those odds are fair because like, if you have someone publicly speaking against the UFC, not just that, but kind of like she makes herself look like she doesn't really care.
Yeah. And she's been very inconsistent.
She broke her arm 3 times.
Yeah, the same arm.
Yeah,
fight,
it's crazy.
Arm break, fight, arm break, fight, arm break. You know, and it's been like that for the past couple of years.
Yeah, so
and
I'm not surprised with those odds.
You know, I still figured that she might be able to pull out a victory
just because of her experience.
Yeah,
right?
based on her experience, she is scrappy. But Amanda Ribas, we knew she was just gonna tear her up,
and she did.
And I bet money. So Paige Van Zandt odds were too good to pass up because you put $100 down, $50 down, you're getting
you can't hate on that.
350 to 450 back.
You can't hate on that.
It's
you and the rest of the world probably do the same thing.
So I put some money down on Paige. Unfortunately, it didn't work out. But Amanda Ribas, I think, is a star in the making. She's gorgeous. I think she's my UFC crush. She's bodied up. She's got like physique, great personality, and she fights like a freaking dog, man. She's like Amanda Nunes type style. Just
dude. Like when she got that armbar, she was relentless.
Yeah,
she wanted to make sure that she finished Paige, and she did.
And she's all around like skilled. So man, that was such a quick fight.
Yeah,
I mean, a great showing for her. I think the UFC's got one with her.
Yeah,
Rose Namajunas.
Probably the fight of the night, right?
Yeah, that was. I think it was the fight of the night. I mean, she pulled it out, man. She got the split decision. She kept Jessica Andrade at bay.
Things were looking good for her.
Landing her shots. I mean, she did get her eye busted up. It did look dicey at moments.
Her eye looked nasty.
During
and after the fight.
I mean, Andrade came at her all 3 rounds swinging, and she had her in trouble at moments, but Rose stuck it out and picked her apart, and it was a good showing for Rose. She looked. I had a friend who asked me what my picks were tonight because they had somebody that was betting, and I gave him my picks. All of them kind of, I think, stayed the same from when we recorded. The only thing I changed up was Rose Namajunas. I went with Rose when I told him.
Okay.
Because I saw her at the weigh-ins, and she looked mindset. I questioned her mindset, and then when I saw her at the weigh-ins, I was like, "No, she's good. She's ready." And it kind of showed in the fight, and even during the fight, I was like, "Nah, she's focused."
Yeah, but you know what? Like I think it's safe to say that throughout Rose Namajunas' UFC career, she's always been kind of unassuming as far as her physical appearance and how she connects herself in there. Like you can't really tell.
Yeah, I just based it off her last few years of like just
now
mental state. It's been a big topic.
But even like her last fight with Jessica, she was winning that fight up until she got knocked out. So I think that it's safe to say that I felt like she was going to win that fight, and she did. And it was a great fight. Yeah. Probably the fight of the night.
Yeah,
I think her and Max.
Yeah, I went with Jessica, and then after that, I was like, you know what, I like the way she's looking, her demeanor, everything. So I went with her, and I told him, and I did pretty good. The only thing I picked Masvidal to win.
That's because of hard.
That was just a hard one,
yeah.
But I think we would have went like 5-5 because the next one above that was Peter Yan defeating Jose Aldo, that was another great fight.
You know what? And Jose Aldo looked great in that fight.
He looked great in that fight.
Because, prior to that fight, he was never throwing any leg kicks.
No.
And in this fight, he was. And, before, Aldo just focused on his boxing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he was throwing leg kicks. He looked like the old Jose Aldo.
And if it would have went the distance, I wouldn't have been surprised if they would have gave it to him, or at least it would have been split. No. You know what I mean?
It's crazy to think that he's 35 years old.
Yeah. Yeah, because he's been in the game for a long time.
And he was dominant for so many years. And
he's still good. He's still a top 5
guy. Easy. I felt bad, But Jan he's just a beast, and he's gonna be champion for a long time, I think.
And what I was hoping for was that it was going to be a good fight and a competitive fight and not a blowout. And it was actually
it was a back and forth.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. I think that those 3 fights were fucking amazing.
Yeah, they were great. They were back and forth, and it was.
I was gonna edge my sheet for that because I was, like midway through, because I think my pick was Jan.
Yeah.
But midway through, I said, "Man, Jose Aldo can pull it off."
He looked like it. He looked like he could pull it off. I thought he kind of. But he was beating Jan to the punch through the majority of that fight.
But then, I think Jan adjusted, and then I think Aldo's gas tank kind of just went out.
Yeah, Jan went full boxing mode.
Yeah,
he went at him.
Smart, man.
Yeah, and
to readjust the game plan.
Aldo started to fade.
Yeah, his gas tank was going empty.
It looked good, man. He looked good. They both looked good. I mean, Aldo lost, but I mean, it's a moral victory.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. He looked great.
Do you think Cejudo comes back to fight Jan? I think so.
I think so. That'd be a great fight.
Yeah.
But I right now I'd pick Jan to win that fight.
Yeah. I don't know. I was watching it and I thought they both looked great, but I was like,
I could see Jan could be seen champion for a long time.
Yeah. Yeah. He can. He is capable of it. It'll be interesting. I want to see how it plays out. Because I wasn't sure. I was trying to think. I don't know if they can compete with them. I don't with the wrestling and all that. I don't know.
But then again, Cejudo's a beast.
Yeah, Cejudo's a beast. Yeah. All right, now we get to the co-main event. Alexander Volkanovski defeating Max Holloway for the featherweight title. Now, this was a very controversial fight. I think Twitter blew up about the decision. Dana White had his own opinions, even though he didn't really express them too much. He made it clear how he felt. You felt the same way. Max, everybody thought Max won this fight.
Yeah. And maybe my opinion is a bit biased just because Max Holloway is my favorite fighter right now, but I just felt like he came on strong in the opening round, and he won those first 3 rounds, and he was beating him to the punch.
Yeah.
He actually kicked back this time, and he was checking on those. Like although he was getting kicked a lot,
he went strike for strike.
I think he kicked back, and I think he was checking on those as well, and he looked great. I think the 4th or 5th round you can get to Volkanovski, and I think Max won. Well, he should have won, but shit happens when you fight into the judges.
Yeah, the right hook was landing on it for a lot. He had an uppercut that was landing.
He dropped him at one point. I think it's the second or third.
He had a head kick. He threw a couple of combinations that backed up Volkanovski a lot.
Yeah, because he dropped him and then threw a stick combination right after.
Yeah. I thought Max won. Now I didn't watch it. I was in and out because of stuff going on at the house. But I was like, I felt like he did enough, and I thought he did it way. He seen every moment that I saw, he was dominating those moments. But the thing, I think he still could have. I think he could have won if those last 2 rounds he would have fought off the takedowns a little bit harder, because it seems like the judges sided with Volkanovski on those takedowns. He did about 3 in the last 2 rounds. If Max would have just fought him off a little bit harder and really Sprawl did something and not let him get taken down, even though I know he got right back up. You never know how the judges.
That's a good point. Yeah, I mean, you're right. He got taken down, I think, twice.
Twice in the 5th, I think.
Yeah, but that's kind of hard to see if the judges kind of judge on a takedown itself, or because he didn't really do anything.
No, he didn't do anything. Unfortunately, the judges it looked like they sided with the takedown
because of the takedowns.
Yeah. They almost weighted as much as like a knockdown. It's like there's no way. It's more of a position change than anything. It's like if you don't do anything with it and he gets right back up. Like McCarthy said the same thing. Like John McCarthy is like, if you don't do anything with it, I don't think you should get awarded it. Like it's position change basically.
Exactly. But the UFC brought their own judges to this fight because any others have their own commission.
Yeah.
So.
And it was. I felt bad for Max, especially to make the adjustments, to basically win the fight, go 5 hard 25 minutes,
and travel across the world just to fight.
Travel across the world in a pandemic get the training, all that, and then get robbed.
You know,
it's so fucked up, man.
Yeah, like history says that a guy that loses to a champion twice doesn't get a third fight, but I think he deserves a third fight with this one.
I think if he can come back with a solid win or two, I think he'll be right there. Yeah, I think Dana will make an exception for like this one.
Yeah,
man, it's unfortunate.
It sucks,
that happened.
Man. I was pissed,
and the fact that he now has to go back and fight
and earn his way
back, basically.
Yeah,
and it's not easy. Kamaru Usman defeating Jorge Masvidal in 5 rounds for the welterweight title.
The worst fight of the night.
Probably the worst fight of the night. I think when you're looking at the striker versus grappler situation, this is basically how it normally turns out.
Yeah.
Kamaru Usman went with what he does best, and won, got the W.
I mean, he did what he had to do to win the fight. I think he fought smart.
Yeah, 6-day notice. I think you don't want to take any chances.
No, you don't go toe to toe with Masvidal. I mean, he hits like a tank.
Yeah, and Masvidal, even in the 5th round, anytime he broke loose, he will swing for the fence, and he puts good combinations together. So he's dangerous.
But I can see a fight being a bit different if you give Jorge like a 6 to 8 week training camp to get prepared, because he did get tired out.
He didn't even have he had, I think his manager was in his corner.
Yeah,
and he was Skyping. His manager was Skyping with Mike Brown.
Yeah,
and telling Jorge what to do.
Yeah,
so it's
that's crazy.
And I think he took the last 3 weeks off.
Yeah, without
really much training.
Yeah, so give him a full training camp. I think he'll do a little. I don't know if the outcome would be different, but
I don't know if
the fight.
I don't know if it would be much different. But he will at least be able to, make the adjustments, have a solid gas tank, go in confident.
Yeah, because he was in there tired because Usman was dirty boxing him and kind of grappling from the cage. So
yeah,
wore him
out. Basically, I think Dominic Cruz said it best. He's he used the cage as the floor, and just kept him up against the cage the entire time, and just tired him out, stomp him, carried his weight. And that was it. That was all she wrote for the fight. There's not much to talk about the fight because that's pretty much the entire fight.
Yeah.
It was Usman backing Jorge up against the cage, and then break loose, strikes. Jorge did land a few.
And then go back to
back to the cage, and then that was it.
Yeah,
take down. So
that sucks.
It sucks the way it went up, but I feel bad for Jorge because it was such a big. I think the gate or the pay-per-view buys were around over 1 million. They were 1.3, 1.4. Yeah. He got announced as one of the cover athletes for the UFC 4. It was a big moment for him to shine. I think a lot of people were rooting for him. Even casual people that I know were that are watching the fights because there's nothing else on. They're they wish, he had a longer a training camp. They know he didn't have a longer training camp. So it's cool to see casual fans
kind of understanding the situation
and not writing him off.
Yeah.
And then, so
it's not like Jose Aldo when he got knocked off.
Yeah. And nobody knew him. And then all of a sudden, bam, all they see is him on the floor. Let's see. Let's get to our guest, Chelsea Hackett.
Yeah.
This is her interview. Get to know her, follow her. She's such a great personality, and I think we're rooting for her when it comes to Contender Series, and she's going to talk all about it and more. So enjoy.
Chelsea Hackett, thank you for being on the show. It's a pleasure to have you on the MMA Complex. How's your day going so far?
Yeah, really good. Super busy, but thank you so much, guys, for working around me. And I'm super excited to be on your show.
Yeah, no problem. I know we were talking about it. You're a day ahead. It's 12 in the afternoon on a Wednesday.
Yeah, 12:20 on a Wednesday.
Yeah, it's 7 p.m. on a Tuesday.
Yeah, Justin and I are stuck in the past.
Yeah. How's tomorrow?
Crazy.
What's tomorrow look like?
Yeah.
But we're talking about your schedule. How busy you're. It's not even 12 noon over there yet, and you still had almost a whole day's work done. Classes, courses, and training, and everything.
Yeah, no, it's pretty hectic. I run my own business, so I'm a personal trainer, group fitness instructor, and, you know, juggling that pretty much full time as well as being a full-time athlete, it gets pretty tough, especially in fight camps. But because I'm lucky that I have some help. Like my mum helps me out a lot when I'm deep in fight camp. But other than that, I kind of just take it all on myself. And I guess it kind of teaches. Well, it gives me great work ethic. So
awesome.
I'm always working, whether it's training or teaching other people.
And how's it been for you running a business and a gym and training during like a pandemic? How is it affected you much?
Well, I was worried. I thought like as soon as it hit, I was like, shit, like gyms are closing down. This is going to be pretty hectic. But literally within 24 hours of COVID hitting, and me starting, like I fully went online with my coaching, and I worked that out in like a 24-hour time frame, and I had the girls just training through it. We were doing Zoom every day. Awesome. I was doing like at-home programs for clients, and I was actually still really busy. But I'm not gonna lie, I enjoyed having some more sleep and some more sleep-ins. It was a good break for me. But at the same time, it didn't actually affect me as much as I thought it would. So I'm pretty happy and lucky in that way that I got the ball rolling a lot faster than other people, I think, when I jumped online. And I actually, when COVID hit us, I'd just come off a fight. So I think it was like 10 days after my last fight, COVID hit, and it was almost like the world saying to me, like, okay, you can have a break now. Like,
that's perfect time.
It was like I actually needed it for my body, and like it sucks that it takes like my MMA gym to close to kind of chill out a bit, but if that's what happens.
It takes the world to shut down in order for you to take a break.
For sure. So my body loved that that little break that I got. So it was good.
You know, and speaking of fight camp, I'm assuming this one's a very important one because I see you wearing the UFC fight gear. So it was announced that you're going to be on the next Contender Series. Tell us about your journey going to the UFC.
It was so funny. Leading up to this podcast, I was like, do I talk about it? Like, what do I do? Because I actually haven't fully announced it on my social media yet. But this is
give us a scoop, man. Give us a scoop.
Well, this is like a huge camp for me. My last fight was super important for me. I really needed to win that fight to gain a spot on the Contender Series, and I did that. And then COVID hit, which kind of like put it all on the sideline a little bit. No one really knew what was going on. I actually had a date in July, so it was supposed to be this month. And then, COVID hit, everything got pushed back. There was a stage where we didn't even think Contender was going to go ahead. So it was a little bit of a mind kind of shit thing going on with me. Like, and then we got confirmation at the end of last week. I've got a date. I've got an opponent. Hopefully everything goes well with, the whole COVID situation and we clear that up so it does go ahead. But so new date.
Congratulations.
Yeah, congrats. And I know like you've been, wanting to go to the UFC, that's your end goal for a lot of fighters as well. So talk about this fight camp being different from previous fight camps, because this is a big opportunity for you to go to the big leagues of mixed martial arts.
Yeah, 100%. For me, whenever I do a fight camp, I always commit 110%. I've got great coaches. I'm just all in every camp, and this camp is obviously going to be no different. But I've just got this big thing at the end of it that will just drive me so much more through this camp. I'm a really I'm a very self-motivated person. I don't need to be motivated. I can kind of do that myself. But I think having, this fight as I can potentially have a UFC contract at the end of it is just going to give me that extra push through a camp. So, we're going to work specifically to my opponent. And yeah, just business as usual, but
That's
with
awesome.
a better prize at the end.
Yeah, you gave me goosebumps listening to that story. It's freaking awesome.
I know. I can't believe it's happening. Like, I'm so excited.
Yeah.
And it's been a long time coming. 'Cause I know you had one fight that was going to be televised on Fight Pass, and then that got canceled. And I know you're upset about that. And then you get this last fight got rescheduled, and then you ended up having a good showing.
Yeah.
Now you have a date set. Do you know the date?
6th of October.
6th of October.
Oh,
Okay,
nice.
great.
So it's actually it's week 10, so I'm pretty sure it's the last one.
Yeah, because they're going to start, I think, August, September-ish, and then they're going to go into October.
It starts 4th of August.
Okay.
And then, at the moment, the last date is the 6th of October, and that's when I'm on.
That's great. At least you got some time. You got some time to prepare.
Yeah.
And are you going to,
stay COVID-free. That's the biggest thing.
Oh, I know, right?
You don't want that shit ruining it.
Yeah.
No,
exactly.
And same with my opponent. Like, I'm kind of like, she's from Brazil, so I'm just like,
oh man, they're fucked over there, dude.
Yeah. Jesus Christ,
it's like a backup.
it's like China over there, man.
Yeah. China, but no, I'm so excited. Because we didn't know a date, and I was, training through and trying to stay ready. It's it's hard for fighters as well because we have to cut weight. So if we don't have a time frame, we don't and my dietitian needs a time frame. So in my head, I was kind of thinking like 6 to 8 weeks I had to play with, and then we got the date and it's like 12 weeks, so it's perfect.
Oh, even better.
4 weeks.
So good.
Yeah.
And speaking of time, are you going to come out to the U.S. Sooner than that to get kind of acquainted to the time zone and everything?
Yeah, definitely climatize, all of that. So we're looking at, depending when the UFC actually fly us out, we're thinking we want to be there 10 days before. And if it's less than that, then me and my dad will just go over earlier and, climatize, do quarantine, whatever we have to do over there, but then have a solid week of good training before the fight. This will be my first time traveling that far and backing up with a fight. So I want to make sure that I don't leave it too late, and I'm not going to know how I feel. I have to cut when I'm there. So all of those things to take into consideration. But we'll definitely come over earlier.
That's very exciting, but also very, very stressful. I couldn't even imagine.
Yeah. And I think because of what's going on in the world, it's like just that added stress. And
those last few weeks, you want to make sure that you have the right people, the healthy people around you, because that could ruin everything if you want to.
Exactly. Yeah, we've got to keep my camp super tight.
Yeah.
And just only work with who I need to work with. So we've got to be super careful with that. Even if we do come over to the States, I'm not going to train in a new gym with new people, because that's just going to expose me to that sort of thing. So, we have to keep it super tight, but we'll be ready and we'll be organized for it.
You said your dad was going to join you. Is he going to be there? Because I know that part they're going to limit to 1 or 2 people in your corner. Is that your dad's going to be officially?
My dad is my number one. He's
supporter.
definitely there. My dad's coached me since I was probably, I'd say 11 or 12.
Wow.
He's officially started coaching me since then. I did Taekwondo before that period. And then when I finished Taekwondo, I transitioned to a street fighting. It's called Chinese boxing. So street close range fighting. And my dad ran that as a class. So he was the trainer and teacher. And when I was 12, I jumped into that. And from then on, he's been one of my closest coaches. So it's not just my dad. He's the one that talks to me in the corner.
That's awesome. And watching you fight, he can, cause he a Taekwondo background, with your kicks. He has some pretty sick kicks. I love the way you transition your kicks, and I mean everything about your fighting style is awesome. You're aggressive. Your elbows in the clinch, they're amazing. It's pretty cool. But you know what? Was that?
Yeah, you go. I was just about to say that's my Muay Thai coming out in there.
For sure.
Yeah.
Now, explain how a 12-year-old girl gets into Taekwondo and not something else.
What was that?
Oh, explain to us how a 12-year-old girl goes into Taekwondo, not
Not like soccer.
Softball or whatever.
So yeah, I was actually 8 when I started Taekwondo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it was like a family thing. So myself and my brother both started. And I was terrible. Like, ask my parents. Like, because in Taekwondo you do like really light contact sparring.
Yeah.
And I would just not have a bar of it. I would cry after each session. Like, I was like pretty bad in like the first few like belts. But I'm so grateful that like mum and dad didn't pull me out and they let me go through that to then just get tougher. So then my mum and dad actually started as well. So we were all doing it together as a family sport sort of thing. And my dad got his black belt. Then he started being a coach at the Taekwondo academy sort of thing.
Wow.
Me and my brother got our junior black belts. And both my parents got their black belt. So we went the whole way.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah, and it wasn't until, we all got to that stage and we're like, oh, well, like that's kind of done. I got to the point where I was so much tougher and I ended up sparring way harder and I was getting in trouble for like being too aggressive. That's when I started really like finding my aggression. It was probably that age, 11 and 12. And then I stopped Taekwondo, and that's when Dad, I remember the night, like he's like, come to this Chinese boxing session and I'll, hold pads for you and stuff and we'll just move around. And he chucked a head guard on me and partnered me up with a guy who was like my second brother at the time. We'd done Taekwondo together and we were both just doing this for the first time. We both had headgear on and we just like belted each other. Like it was just like, and I think that's when Dad kind of like was like, holy fuck.
She's got something.
Like,
she's feisty.
She needs to let loose more because in Taekwondo you couldn't do that. So that was the night where it kind of all changed really. And I found this like fire in my belly. And then I did that for about, I'd say maybe 6 months, pretty consistently most days. Mum did the same. My brother did the same. We pretty much transitioned to that. And then I stepped foot into Boonchu Gym, Wayne and Angie Park on the Gold Coast when I was still 12. So I'd done Chinese boxing for 6 months and then I started transitioning into Muay Thai at 12 as well.
Yeah. Wow.
And you obviously been very successful in Muay Thai champion. Yeah, I love that photo with all the belts that you have.
The WBC belt.
Amazing.
Yeah,
so
it's
cool.
freaking awesome picture of yourself.
And you're able to transition that into MMA,
shorts,
and then like you display your Muay Thai so well, and it's so aggressive, and then also you're not just a stand-up fighter. You have a wide range of skills. You have your ability to stay off your back, and you have to. Yeah. I think if people are going to look at your resume and be like, oh, she's just a Muay Thai girl, I'm going to take her down or something like that. Do you like that? Do you like that going into these fights?
I do. I really love like how these girls just like keep fucking up and like getting it wrong because like seriously, like if that's what they tell themselves. And then their whole prep is just like, they're like avoiding other parts of their game because they literally just think that I'm a stand-up fighter and I don't have like the strength and they can get me down and I'm only 21. Like, and obviously I'm fighting women. So of course age comes into it. One of my last opponents she did a podcast before I fight and just said, oh, she's just a baby. Like if you're going to tell yourself that, of course you're going to get a shock when we fight. Like, you know what I mean? So like it's not good for them to put it in their heads, but it's good for me because like I learned from the very start of my Muay Thai career to never underestimate my opponents. And there was one Muay Thai fight I had that really changed that for me. And I had that fight and I walked out of there and I was just like never will I underestimate the potential that my opponent could have. So like I just think that in my transition to MMA, like it hasn't been easy. I've had to work like my ass
really hard
for it.
Right.
But I just feel like all my opponents to date have just taken that, you know what I mean? And just kind of been like, well, I've done it for longer. But like I've fought since I was 12. Like I had my first fight when I was 12. I'm not new to like the fighting game. Like I can control my nerves. I can like, I've got experience in that sense. And like now I'm just learning so much more about MMA, like every training session, jiu-jitsu, wrestling, like, because obviously that's not my first, my first, what do you call it?
Discipline, your first, yeah.
My first thing, like I'll always be a striker.
A striker,
yeah.
That's me. But I've found so much of my strength come into my wrestling and my jiu-jitsu, and it's definitely an advantage for me when my opponents underestimate me. Like I like that.
Right. And also another thing that I found really impressive about you is that most fighters who are your age, who hasn't made it to UFC, they just focus on fighting. Where you have a strong social media game that kind of like let the fans see who you are and your story. And that's awesome. I think that's going to benefit you like in the future, especially with the UFC.
Very tech savvy too. Even with your own business, you're able to switch it up real quick.
I mean, Josh and I were watching like your footage and we're super impressed. It's kind of like we got to know you as a person without even before talking to you. So
that's so cool. I love
it's
that.
really awesome. Yeah. Now, I have a question that's kind of like a bit serious, but not really, kind of funny. But being 12 years old and fighting, that make you like have boys kind of be intimidated by you as far as your dating life goes?
Yeah,
I'm sure you can kick everyone's ass. Came up to you.
It's funny. Like through school, my school experience, I from grade 7. So like probably grade 7 and lower, I was like the teacher's pet. Like I was really like, I wanted to get good grades, and like that's the thing I really cared about. And then I started fighting, and I really found my groove with like being athletic and like being powerful and being strong as a woman. That definitely took over. And grade 8, grade 9, like I just started to really just all I wanted to do was train. I'd have conversations with my mom and dad and be like, can I go to work later? Like, not work. Can I start school at like 10:30 so I can train in the morning? And at the start it was like, fuck no, like you're going to school, like do it. But then I think when they started to like see my work ethic and my potential, then it was like, okay, you can start school at 10. Like we eased our way into that. But
it's an investment.
And then I don't know about like guys at school would be very they would just make comments like, oh, you could I want to see you kick so-and-so's ass, and like just other boys, like just like that sort of banter. And it got to the point where I was so over it. Like I was just like, shut up, like, because there was they had no idea what I did. Like, and it would just like frustrate me. And I had my first boyfriend when I was 15.
Mm-hmm. Oh wow!
Yeah, I was 15.
Started young.
Yeah, and
it's a good age. It's a good age.
Like it's hard to like. I think he dealt, because obviously earlier on I was still kind of just doing it as a hobby.
Yeah.
I was still at school then. I now had a new boyfriend. I was training, but the one thing that I almost promised myself that I never do is neglect my training, because I've now got like this boyfriend that I can do like go to the movies with.
That's smart of you. Most kids at your age, that age would not have.
I couldn't have done
Yeah,
that.
and almost like literally promised myself that like I wouldn't do that, because I loved fighting so much.
Yeah.
And all the way through that relationship, like I trained every night. There was like, if I had to cut weight, we're not going for dinner, like that sort of stuff. And he was actually he was great like that. Like he would understand. It was all good. The intimidation factor, like I think came in at the end when I started to win titles, and I went to Worlds and won gold medal, like stuff like that. Like I started to see maybe it was too much.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
A 15, 16-year-old kid is not going to be able to process that and how to be mature and handle that.
Yeah.
That's
like
hard.
I think like we were together for 4 years. So we were actually together for a long time.
Wow.
Yeah, I think I outgrew that. You know how you just outgrow things?
Yeah. It's life. Life happens,
Yeah, and I learned a lot from that relationship, in the sense that I need someone that's like can handle it. Do you know what I mean? Like I need someone that's like that's strong enough to, they see me like training and like fighting.
And be okay with it, not feel intimidated.
That they can deal with it and they're chill with it, and that's what I needed. So my partner now is epic like that. He's older, so he's 26.
Okay.
And I think that comes into
a little
it
bit
too.
older.
He's a lot more mature. Like he because of his business, I think, because we've got two separate lives, and then our relationship, we come together, and I think that's the most important thing.
What does he do?
Someone that has something as well.
What does he do?
He runs his own business. He's a videographer and a photographer.
Okay. Oh, he's the one that films you.
That's right. Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Perfect.
he's super like busy with that, and obviously that really gels with me.
That helps you a lot. Yeah.
We really like work well together as a team. So he's awesome. I don't think he's intimidated. He's fine.
That's good. That's good. You're self-confident.
Is there a wedding in the near future?
Pardon?
Is there a wedding?
We're getting personal.
Is there a wedding?
A wedding.
Ooh.
We'll see.
Let's see your hand. No ring. All right.
No,
hey, I'm sure you listen to you right now. She wants a ring, so give her a ring.
Yeah. No, there's I'm still 21. Sometimes I'm just I still can't believe I'm 21. I just feel like I'm.
When's your birthday?
Next month. So
next month, 22.
Hey.
Yeah.
With the UFC contract at the end. All right.
It's so funny because before my MMA debut, I did a podcast, and before I even had an MMA fight, and the lady was like, "Okay, last question. What's your goal and time frame, blah blah blah." And I was like, I want to be on the UFC roster by the time I'm 22. That's just what I said, and it kind of I didn't overthink it. It just came out.
Yeah.
And now in the position I am now, I'm like, holy
shit.
I put that out into the universe, and now it's happening.
It's a sign.
Yeah.
Just one more thing. When you get that UFC contract and you become rich and famous, don't forget about me and Josh. a lot of fighters go on the show. They become big and they block us.
Yeah,
they come in early and then. Okay, great.
All right.
Cool. Yeah, because I'll be over there a lot. See, so we can just.
Yeah, there you go.
Don't forget about it.
We're based in LA. There's a lot of stuff out here. It's not open.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Pinky promise, cyber promise right here. All right.
And your well-rounded MMA stuff, is it hard to find training partners over where you're at, or is it you got some good quality training partners over there? Yeah,
well, girls, it's hard because the GC or Australia in general, I swear there's only I think we've got 2 girls in the UFC, Aussie girls. Yeah. Jessie Jess and Megan Anderson. And then outside of that, I'd swear there's maybe 5 or 6 other girls that are active MMA fighters. Maybe not even. So the female pool is really small. But even through Muay Thai, I was always training with guys. Yeah. Not big guys my weight. So it was, even. But I'm so used to training with guys that when I transitioned to MMA, it didn't change. It was still always guys. So I'm at Puma MMA on the Gold Coast, and my main training partner is Reese McLaren. From One. So I work with him every day. We have a tight fighters class. So I've got Reese McLaren, we've got Hawani, who's 10 amateur MMA fights. There's probably 6 of us around the exact same weight, and we just work really well together. So it's awesome. It's awesome working with Reese. He's just a weapon.
Yeah.
So good. And we're literally all the same weight, so it's perfect.
Do you know if you're going to get access to the UFC the facilities, the training facility? How are they going to? I think so,
I really
right?
hope so, because is that a part of the Apex?
I think so.
It's the same vicinity as the Apex.
Same area. Yeah.
So anybody that's fighting, quote unquote, for the UFC, they can use that at their disposal.
Yeah. So depends what COVID rules are like then. We might have to be we might have to train in our hotel room or whatever. But I think if we can, we would, because we're fighting in the Apex. So that would be amazing.
Yeah.
And how do you feel about training fighting with no crowd? Most likely, it's probably gonna be absolutely nobody.
Yeah, fine.
It's gonna be weird for you.
Different. Like I've never fought no crowd, but
no pressure though, right? No crowd, none of that drama.
I think I'm excited because you can hear so much more. Like, so I'm gonna hear my corner more clearer, and like
you hear their corner.
Their corner, exactly.
Yeah. Cheat to win.
And then I, like hearing the kicks and the punches, like I love that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And, when you've landed a good one, you're like,
yeah. Oh yeah, that was good. Yeah. And this fight will be at 135, right?
Or 125.
125, 135. And you're 5'8". Man, you're tall for that division.
No, I'm not 5'8". Where does it say I'm 5'8"?
I thought you were 5'8".
Where do we read it?
We read somewhere that you're 5'8".
I'm not 5'8".
Like he started this line and say you were 5'8". Now everyone knows you're not.
I'm just gonna say it.
Yeah.
No, I'm actually 5'4".
Oh.
Yeah, so I'm
still good height.
Still good height.
I think that's average. Like
I was just off by 4 inches.
Yeah, just 4 inches. Just 4.
No one's gonna notice.
Yeah.
But my last 2 opponents were super tall. Well, they were like taller than me. So.
Yeah.
And then the 2 before that were exactly my height. And then this next girl is my height exactly. Yeah. So.
And do you find it easier to fight girls like your height or taller than you?
The taller girls.
Taller.
Yeah, chop them down, chop the trees down.
Yeah, so like obviously my style and like Muay Thai is lots of kicks. Taller girls, like they obviously don't have like as good stability and like ground, like you know what I'm talking about.
They're too high up,
They're way too high up. So I find them really easy to trip, like catch a kick, take them down, stuff like that. And they also feel like lighter to me, so I feel like the stronger person in there. So I do like fighting tall girls, until there's a tall girl that like has really good fucking range. It like doesn't let me in, but I'm yet to find it yet. So my first MMA fight, that chick was so tough. Like she, it was hard because I felt like I was mauling her with my striking and she wasn't giving much back. Yeah. But physically she was strong, like super strong.
Okay.
So yeah.
And what about your physical conditioning? Because it seems like you're physically like you're fit, you're strong, you have like
your legs are like tree trunks.
Your legs are like tree trunks.
Oh my god!
You know what I mean? It's just like
I couldn't even imagine getting kicked by you.
Your strength and conditioning has grown over time. It seems like your body has transformed, and you're become like a lot more like just fit and just like so. Yeah. Like have you seen that progress? And how do you feel about that? Yeah, you're training.
Yeah, 100%. I started S&C when I was 16.
Yeah.
With my coach who I'm still with. So I've been with him for 5 years now. Coming up to 6, and we are just like always progressing. I'm always feeling like I'm, going forward. There's never like with my S&C, I never feel like I'm stagnant or going backwards, which is like really good for obviously your physical, but also your confidence.
Yeah.
I went to him when I had a loss in Muay Thai. So it was not a bad loss. Like it went 5 rounds, but the girl was so much bigger than me. Mm-hmm. And I was still only 16. So, like I wasn't like, I didn't have my woman's strength yet. Yeah. So I really felt that in the fight. And my dad just straight after that fight was like, we're going across the road it was called Momentum, and we're going to talk to the S&C coach there and we'll get you doing some strength stuff. So as soon as that started, I haven't lost a fight since starting with him.
Yeah.
So,
awesome.
Yeah.
It helped a lot.
So good. And I just feel like S&C is so important. Like, and I feel like especially in MMA, because you've not only got the striking, you have the wrestling, you got to have the wrestling defense, and like as much as like there's so much like technicality to it, you also like need to be strong as fuck. Like, you know what I mean? So we do a lot of like, hence why my legs are like hectically huge, because we just constantly.
It's not a bad thing.
Not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing.
I just like, holy shit.
It is when I'm not cutting weight and they just fucking rub together. I mean, but we're just constantly working on having a strong base all the time, because if you've got a strong base, then like that fight 80% of the time is yours.
Yeah.
Now Josh and I will be watching your fight that night we'll be rooting for you with our fingers crossed. So after you win
so much.
and they interview you, just say, hey, just give us a shout out. Say, hey, my complex. Hey, you guys are awesome. You guys give me confidence. Bullshit as much as you can, but this one gets put us out there if you can.
And your predictions and your future outlook has been pretty good. It's almost like a mystic, like Mac. I feel like what's your overall like
prediction for this fight?
Prediction for not for just this fight, but even afterwards. How you look at it, the UFC. You imagine yourself on a card, like all that. What's your vision?
My vision is I would love to fight Valentina. Like I would just love
that'd be
to
a
get
sick
there.
fight. Yeah,
and
that'd be a sick fight.
I really hope that like she doesn't retire too soon. Like because obviously
she won't.
She's still relatively young.
Yeah,
she's still good. You got some time.
But I just I look at like the flyweight division in the UFC, and like I'm watching the girls so closely, and it's almost like I'm always on the edge of my seat, like, oh, like I could so like do this and like really work my way up through the ranks, and get to Valentina. And I don't want to. Obviously, there's no rush because I am so young, but at the same time, I know that when I get there, like I'll be ready, like I'll be so ready. And I would just love the challenge and like just a fighter. Like she's a fucking savage.
Yeah, she is.
But I also think like I have a very different style to a lot of female fighters. And it'd be so cool. And we've both got Muay Thai backgrounds. So.
Yeah. A fight that I want to see fight in the UFC is you and Angela Lee. That'd be a sick fight.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be a good one.
That'd be a sick fight.
I mean, I'm not going down the strawweight.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think it's good to take it slow, get some good wins get some highlight reel under your belt, and then
get that.
Let the UFC build you. I would build you. You don't want to rush too fast.
Really, just about to say that, and also like there's obviously Valentina's like the end there, kind of goal. But like my dream fight, like I would do it now, is Paige Van Zandt.
Oh, beat her ass.
You're gonna be watching close. You're gonna be watching closely this weekend, huh?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like I seriously want to fight her, but I'm pretty sure this is her last UFC fight, and she might.
Yeah. Who knows? She might resign, but I don't.
I think we were talking about it on this episode. Where I think if she loses, she's gonna have to really question a lot of things. I think if she wins, I say she resigns if she wins.
So I would love her to resign. And just wait, I'm coming.
If not, sign a one fight contract for Bellator and then go back to the UFC right after.
Yeah. Exactly.
Well, I think it's a fighter's like playing field right now. I think you have so many options, so many organizations right now. Obviously, most of them are on hold, so the UFC is the best option, and it's awesome that you even signed with them right now. But everything's in the fighter's favor. I think from all these organizations competing, Bellator, so many options, so many ways to make money, a name for yourself. So
true. I think like it's funny because you've got Bellator in one, but for some reason like the UFC is just
the UFC
UFC
it's the major leagues. So
it's the major leagues, and I think you're talented enough to. And
for sure.
While just watching your fights, you're
amazing.
You're UFC caliber for sure.
Yeah, exactly. But so hopefully at the end of it, like you have a UFC bout and a ring on your finger.
They're putting pressure on her man. They're putting pressure on her man.
He's in there. He has to step up, man. He has to step up.
That's so funny. We were talking about like I don't know when it was, but like Jake was like, "Oh, I'll propose to you when you win the belt."
Hey, there it is. Hey, there it is.
I was like, imagine that. I was like, I'll get in the cage and like. God.
You get like fake tears.
I was like, so what if I don't? He's like, well,
next year.
Yeah.
So when you're not training, obviously your schedule's full of training and not just yourself but others, but what do you do on your free time?
I love to shop.
Okay. Clothes,
I love
shoes.
Going shopping. Oh, just everything.
Everything?
Everything.
Me too. Okay. Yeah.
Clothes. So yeah, I'll go shopping. Love the beach. I spend so much time at the beach. And yeah, that's about it. I have this thing. I'm going through this phase at the moment that I want to start dirt biking.
Okay.
Oh,
wow. Hey, there you go.
Because
Pro BMX here.
I know my partner has a dirt bike, and I'm like, oh, I want one for my birthday, and my dad's just like, fuck no. Like, can you imagine if you like come off that thing? Like, I'm like, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Be the next
move.
You're just starting your career, your major league UFC career. You don't want to.
We don't
or do it. Maybe like the next female cowboy.
Yeah. I mean, I guess Cowboy Cerrone does it all the time. I guess he.
Yeah. I would be terrible at it. So let's not go there.
Okay.
Yeah. Listen to my ass.
Well, it's been great having you on. It's been great having you on. Guys. You enjoy the rest of your day. But first of all, let everybody know where to find you on social media. Yeah, how to find you and how to follow you.
So Instagram is Chelsea Hackett. So my full name's Chelsea, but everyone calls me Chels. So it's just Chelsea Hackett on Instagram, and then Facebook is the same, Chelsea Hackett. And I'm yet to get Twitter.
Your YouTube channel.
Your YouTube channel.
What is my YouTube channel?
I think it's Chelsea Hackett.
Yeah.
Wait, let me check. Is it Chelsea Hackett?
I think if you type in your name, it pops up. Yeah. So
that's a very entertaining channel. So subscribe.
Yeah, it's Chelsea.
Hey, there it is. Subscribe.
I actually have to add more videos to this.
Please do.
Oh, especially now. I think now would be a good time.
Yeah, we're actually going to document my whole camp. For
there
this.
You go.
There you go.
Like such a big fight, so we're going to.
And then it'll be like a new reality series.
Yeah.
Reality show. That'll be awesome.
Hanging with Ghosts.
Yeah, exactly. Now, I don't want to feed our ego or anything, but kind of rank this interview with like amongst the other ones that you've done. Like really rank the complex.
This would be like the top one, I reckon.
Yeah, okay.
I haven't done many. I've only done like a handful, but you guys are legends. So number one.
Hey, no, it's a lie. No, she's done a lot, you guys. She's done like you gotta go through like 10 people to get through. So that's all right. Good.
All right. Thank you so much for being on. You enjoy the rest of your day. We look forward to
you guys.
Best of luck.
Training camp. All the best of luck in your career.
And don't forget about us.
We'll talk after the fight.
Yes. Remember Pinky Promise. Don't forget.
After the win.
All right. Cheers. Hey, bye.
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 And that was Chelsea Hackett.
Great person.
Yeah, great.
That was fun.
It was fun. It was a fun interview, and unfortunately, I wish you guys could be able to see it. But at least you hope you listened to it and enjoyed it. She's a total. But her striking is amazing. If you guys haven't seen any of her fights or her, we put some footage up. But if you guys haven't seen a lot of her fights, man, she is killer, dude. She's a force on the feet.
She is a force on the feet.
She's well-rounded. She's getting better. She's
great personality.
Great personality. She's attractive.
Very beautiful.
All that and more. And I think if she's able to, she's successful on her Contender Series debut, and they sign her
as a star.
They have a good one on their hands.
Exactly.
Man, so we're definitely rooting for her, and best of luck for Chelsea Hackett.
Yeah.
We got some fights. We got 2 cards this weekend. Actually, not weekend, but we have one for tomorrow. That's Cater versus Ig, and then we have this weekend is Figueiredo and Benavidez too. So let's go over the card for tomorrow. It's on Fight Pass. No, not Fight Pass. ESPN Plus. ESPN and ESPN Plus. Cater versus Ig. The card. Who do we have on here? Lauren Murphy.
It's not really
not a lot of,
as far as names go.
Not a lot of names. Cody Staman, Jimmy Rivera. Tim Elliott.
Probably the biggest name.
Ryan Benoit. Yeah. Calvin Kattar and Dan Ig. Calvin Kattar, he just took out Jeremy Stevens. The guy's his boxing is probably some of the best in the division. Yeah. Well-rounded guy. I think more on the quieter side, but the guy's a star. I think he's probably one of the most talented guys in the UFC right now. Dan Ig, who's, the guy's legit. The guy's a dog. He does fight really good. He's got skills. It's gonna be a good fight. I have Kattar winning this. I think it's a showcase fight for Kattar.
Yeah.
I think if I'm not mistaken, I think we're talking about. I think Frankie Edgar is supposed to be on this card. I could be wrong, but I believe this was the card that he was supposed to headline. and Calvin Kattar and Dan Ige were the co-main event. But Kattar, I think this is a showcase of a main card for him, main event. This is where his moment to shine, and I think he gets a top 5 guy next.
I agree.
Maybe even a number 1 contender spot. Guy's so talented. So that's tomorrow. Make sure you guys check that out. We'll recap everything next episode. This weekend you have also LFA 85, and then you have UFC Figueiredo versus Benavidez 2. Now the original fight 1, Figueiredo missed weight. He ended up winning the fight and knocking out Benavidez, and nobody won the title, so they need to redo it again.
Yeah.
This gives Benavidez. I think the UFC's hoping that Benavidez and at least Figueiredo make weight, or at least and I think they're leaning more towards Benavidez because he's more of a long-time athlete of theirs, and
he's reliable.
And the UFC's, I think, more leaning towards him winning and hoping that he wins this fight. Figueiredo makes weight, and they run it back. I think Benavidez will want to run it back because he got knocked out pretty bad on the last one. It was a competitive fight, but man, it was not a good loss for him.
Yeah.
The undercard, you have a couple of names on there, like Joe Duffy is back, who I think never really amounted a whole lot after, you know what I mean?
No.
He was supposed to be the Connor of
the
more
Connor
quieter,
killer,
quieter Connor, you know what I mean? On the card, you have Ariane Lipsky, who's, she's trying to, make a name for herself, but then she hasn't just yet found her footing in the UFC, and she's gorgeous, talented fighter. But hopefully she pulls it through. Mark Diakisi and Calvin Gastelum versus Jack Hermanson are in the co-main event. Okay, it's Calvin Gastelum or Jack Hermanson? Who do you have?
Calvin, man, can't go against that guy.
Yeah, Calvin looks lean. Have you seen him?
He looks great.
He looks really good.
He's not eating no more tacos, hopefully.
No, he looks lean. He looks ready. I think, if you're going all the way out to Abu Dhabi, you better come with your A game because you don't want to waste your time, man. It's like I felt bad for what's her face?
Blades. It was
Curtis Blades was one when he went to China.
Yeah.
But she just fought. What's her name? Paige Van Zandt.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you go out there, you lose in less than 5 minutes.
Yeah. By armbar, by submission.
By armbar, and then that's it. You got to go back home, and then
your last UFC fight.
Your last UFC fight. Now your contract negotiations are not going to go well. No. You better take whatever they give you.
Yeah.
If you want to fight, but man, Calvin Gastelum. Well, I don't know how we got into it, but Calvin Gastelum looks great. Jack Hermanson, talented, big dude, but we'll see how it goes. I think Calvin Gastelum is just too talented to lose this one. Figueiredo, Benavidez, running it back, flyweight title. What do you have?
Same result. I think Figueiredo wins again.
Yeah, you're gonna go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Decision.
Or TKO.
TKO. I don't know. I'll go with. Yeah, you know what? I don't know, man. I'll go Benavidez. Fuck it, make it interesting. I think he. Hopefully he learned something from that fight.
And rebounds.
Yeah. And finally gets a little bit of credit to his name. Because the guy's been in it for a long time, man. I mean, you like to see him get something.
He's always coming in second place, though.
Yeah, he's always getting in second place. You know what I mean? At least get it once, hopefully, in his career, and then call it a day.
I agree.
All right, that's Saturday night. So you have Wednesday night, Saturday night.
2 fights.
Fights all weekend. You guys enjoy. Thank you for Chelsea Hackett for being on the show. Best of luck in your career, and hopefully we have you on again soon and have video for it.
Yeah, don't forget about us. Too.
Yeah, the MMA Complex. Subscribe, listen, all that stuff.
Yeah, on social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all under the MMA Complex. 2 big fights. You guys go to the store, stock up on some meat, some beer, and watch the fights. And next week, Josh and I will break it down, and hopefully another guest for you guys.
Yeah.
So until then, enjoy the fights, enjoy the week.